Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first edition of Fourth and One, converting your present success into your future success. My name is Kent Groff. I'm a certified financial planner, and for the first episode today, we have a very special guest, Marlon Kerner. Marlon, thanks for joining me today.
Ken, thanks for having me. I appreciate your time.
I want to start off. I know you work for the Buffalo Bills, but tell me a little bit more.
I am the director of player engagement and alumni with the Buffalo Bills. And pretty much that's just a fancy way of saying I help players transition into the NFL, figure out what that looks like, however long that time is with their respective clubs, even if it's not with the Bills. And then once they're done, I also help them then transition out of the league and onto the next phase of their career through the alumni piece that we have. So we have what we call now, most teams have a legends department. We kind of got away from the name alumni to make it a little special. So we call it legends. And every NFL team has their own legends department. And I have a phenomenal partner of mine. His name is Jeremy Kelly. He's our alumni manager, and he manages the day-to-day and makes sure the guys just feel like they're welcome, because you get a lot of guys who might have been away for like 10, 20 plus years. And so we kind of try to make a seamless transition in and then out so you never lose contact with your clubs.
That's great. It sounds like you're doing some really great things over there with the Bills. So I've seen a few videos, a few highlight reels of you. Tell me about your NFL career.
It was an interesting career. I came in as a third-round draft pick from, I have to do it, the Ohio State University, hence the scarlet and gray background you see in here. And came in as a rookie and played early and ended up starting about 7 games my rookie season due to a really good friend of mine, Jeff Burris, having a knee injury. So I filled in for him for the rest of the season and was having a really good career. Going up and down, playing third down, starting a few games here and there. And then in my third season, with 3 games left, tore my left ACL and was like, no biggie. Hey, I had friends that had torn an ACL and came back. But during that time frame, I had about 6 classes left at Ohio State. So while I was playing, I was taking classes and going back. And I had 15 credit hours left when I tore my ACL. And so I said, just in case this whole thing doesn't work out, I was very adamant with our training staff that I was just going to go back, take my classes, and graduate. And I would do my rehab at Ohio State. And then if they needed me to come back every weekend, I would. Whatever they needed, I would do that. But I wanted to graduate before I came back for the off season. And reluctantly, they said, okay. Took those 3 classes, graduated in March, and then came back and did all that rehab, was doing well. Had a little setback in camp like you have with most ACL injuries, and then got to the first game and tore my right ACL and was done for the rest of the year and had to do all that rehab all over again. And then come to find out I had a little cartilage damage, so I had to get a microfracture done on my left knee. So imagine having your ACL done 9 months ago and then finding out that you have to have more stuff done on that one, but you got to get your right one done all over. So I was just a mess on crutches. And then it just a lot of trauma, a lot of things going on with both knees and trying to get healthy. And the NFL stands for not for long. They don't wait for you. And so after that, kind of just wasn't ready yet, needed a little bit more time, which, time is not on anybody's side.
Right.
And so they moved on and just said, hey, if you get healthy, give us a call. If not, then, it's been a pleasure having you. And if we can do anything for you, let us know. And so I kind of just did the rehab back at Ohio State again. And that just never really responded the way I wanted to. So I just kind of decided to walk away from playing football and transition into my next phase.
And how'd you get involved with the Bills?
That was a roundabout way. When I got done playing football, I needed to be away from football. So I took my non-conventional route and ended up going and working for KeyBank for 4 years. So I worked in the branches. I worked in their call centers. I did both inbound and outbound. So I learned everything about it, learned how each product is different in different states. So that was really interesting to figure out, and what you can offer, say, in Washington that maybe you can't offer in Ohio or New York.
Yep.
So that was really kind of eye-opening to kind of figure out, like, oh, wow, I didn't know you could do all these things, and how they charge their fees, how banks make their money, products that you should have and that you shouldn't have. So it kind of gave me a good leg up of kind of understanding what, as I began to get into this role of what players should have some products maybe they should consider. Maybe if somebody says you should have this, hey, you know what, probably not the best thing to have at your age, in the stage of your life. And then I switched, for some reason, switched to a grocery store locally here named Tops Markets. Stayed there for 2 years, and then ended up going to Target for 8 years, and loved working at Target. Target really taught me how to really talk to people, right? And really learn how to do that customer service piece, and really put the customer first, and learn how to, you always hear the customer's always right, but learn how to balance the customer's always right with, we need to make sure that we take care of Target as well, and make sure that you're not falling for any scam that comes out there, because a lot of people will come
Right.
up with some interesting things.
Yep.
And so learning how to also just manage a large team. I ended up working at Target. I think I had like the largest team of the store, of about 90 people, like with cashiers and front end, and then Food Avenue and Starbucks employees. So I managed a lot of different personalities. So learning how to really build good rapport with people, and learning how to use influence to get them to do what we needed to do, and then learning how to develop younger people as they wanted to do more things. So that was really eye-opening. And then I transitioned into HR and got the whole back behind the scenes, and the law behind of it, and then transitioned to the bills, which took 15 years to do, but in a roundabout way, it prepared me to be in the role that I'm in now.
Yeah, it sounds like you found your way back. The main purpose of this podcast is to help players kind of adjust from having present success and parlaying that into future success. Throughout your time with the NFL, what are some common mistakes that you've seen players make that potentially could be avoidable?
I think one, feeling like you have to have all the answers when you get out, right? I think that's the first one, because guys kind of like, well, what do I do next, right? And so you need to be working on what your transition is going to look like during the off seasons, so you can kind of figure out, I like doing this, I like doing that, I might want to start a business. Well, here's how you start a business, to kind of have a plan. And then when you start looking at the financial piece, I think guys always make two mistakes, right? There's one of an education piece. You just don't really understand a lot about finances, and understanding what you should be doing when you get in, understanding about the three buckets, where you should have some stuff where you like, hey, this is long term, I'm not touching this. This is for my everyday. This is for my emergency fund. So helping guys understand that. And then really the biggest one, or the second thing, is not having your financial team in place as you start making that money, and as you start getting along and getting up in your career. So you kind of either don't know what to do next, and I guess that falls under the education piece, but really understanding that you need to have an accountant, that you need to have an agent, you need to have a financial advisor, you need to have all these other things in place that will help you be the best version of you, so you don't have to be like, well, what do I do? Or if you don't have the education piece on your own, then your team can help you, and understanding that they should be separate people, and not having just one person do everything, right? I've had so many people say, well, my agent does finances, and he does all marketing, and he does taxes, and he does everything. I'm like, so if he decides to take advantage of you, who watches him?
Right.
So you need to have some checks and balances in place, but you need to also have a really strong financial team to really help you navigate the amount of money that you're going to make in a very short time, so that you can set some aside, take care of some family members if that's a goal of yours, take care of the demands that you're going to have right now, because it costs a lot of money to move and go to different cities when you're going to play. When I left from Ohio, I'm like, wow, I didn't understand how much it really was going to cost moving from Columbus to Buffalo. But that's a really big expense when you're coming in, getting an apartment, buying new furniture, buying dishes, maybe getting a new car. All those little things do add up. And if you don't have a good plan in place, you could spend more money than you anticipate in that first year, and kind of throw your budget off.
Yeah, I'm sure, especially with, I think the statistic is, the average career is what, 3.3 years, something along those lines. And when you're young and you're making the money, you think this is going to last forever, so you don't take advantage of really saving during those crucial starting years. And to your point about the team, having a team that is interconnected with a financial advisor and your agent, a CPA, estate planning attorney, having that all flow seamlessly is going to provide for more successful outcomes. You want everyone to be on the same page. Everybody is working for you. If, as a player, they're the owner of a team, and they hire a coaching staff, and you have a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, head coach, and that's kind of the team that you really want to build out, is having all those key pieces in place, making sure, like you said, everybody is going towards the same goal. So that's very insightful, and I want to say thank you for your time today, and I hope we'll stay in touch, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. And yes, we definitely will stay in touch.
Thank you.